Hello and welcome back to Nat Scraps. I know I have been a little MIA lately. I have been quite busy. I've taken a little bit of time off just to rejuvenate and be able to cope with everything in life. But I am back today with the layout I made a few weeks ago. You may have seen this one on a preview video and seen me show it along with a few other layouts that I created, but I am so damn proud of this layout. I love it, and to me it speaks volumes because it's exactly my daughter's kind of layout. So I popped up a sketch there that showed you the sketch that I'm using from Christy's Beautiful Life. There's a link down below to her Facebook page. It's 30 days of challenges with sketches, and I used that as a jumping off point today to create this layout. The other thing I really love about this layout is I love the inks, I love the colors, I love the vibrancy, and I love that it's done by hand, like all these colors and things. And you could get papers that would do the same thing, you could get, you know, stickers or whatever else, but I love it when I can create something that is so unique and so me and so much what I wanted. You will see I'm way behind here in the footage, but I created this Apple. I downloaded an Apple logo and turned it into a vector file, cut that on my Cricut, then cut my photos out to match. Now I'm going to work on this white page, and this is pretty much everything. I've got black cardstock and inks today. That's pretty much all I use. Oh, a few stamps here, there, and everywhere as well. But here I'm going to do a test because I have not figured out exactly how this is going to work. I know in my mind that I want the old Apple logo, you know, the colored logo that Apple had back, it was probably the 80s or 90s, and that's what I want to recreate. So I've got my computer in front of me, I've googled the logo, I've checked the colors out, I've matched up my inks to those colors. I'm trying to figure out exactly how wide each of my strips for that logo needs to be, and that's what I'm doing right now. So I've sort of traced the shape, and I'm working out roughly how wide each of those strips needs to be to make sure it fits within that apple shape that I'm going to use. Now I'm going to cut this washi tape, it's the masking tape, down to about the right width. So you can see here I've got that width that I'm going to put to the side, and I'm going to do a test coloring. So I'm going to make sure my whole idea works, because at this point I don't know whether this is going to work. So I just do a little test, and I cut most of this out so that you can see it done later on the actual page in full. But my whole idea is I didn't want to start on my page and then find that this is not going to work. I'm really flying solo here, wondering if things are going to work at this stage. I don't know whether the height, the width, and all that. So I'm going to bring it in now on my page and check that out. And I like the results. I like what I'm going to do. So now I just have to figure out some of my placing and where I'm going to put those colorings. Now, my initial thought was to put my coloring under each 3 of these photos, but I sort of quickly worked out that if I was going to do that, then what would happen is that they would have to be really, really close together. So you can see me sort of mapping things out here. And then I realized that I probably will only get it under 2 photos. So I choose to do it in that top left one, and that is where I'm going to start. A lot of this, I don't generally pre-plan where I'm going to put things, how I'm going to get things down, and that kind of jazz. I generally just go and do it and hope for the best. I did do a bit of planning with this, like that test coloring. Normally I wouldn't do that. Normally I just slap it down on the page. If it worked, it worked. But I actually really worked through the process with this one before I started, and made sure that it was going to look like the Apple logo, not like something strange. Now, why the Apple logo? This is my daughter getting an iPad for Christmas, for her birthday, which was in January. And So yeah, so to me, I wanted something big and vibrant. That sketch had those three circles, and yeah, I could have done three circles or whatever, but to me, this was just something a little bit different and represented the iPad and being an Apple product and things like that. So you can see here, the strip that I have cut is really just a guide. So as I move this color, I pop that strip down. That's how wide my color is going to be. And then I use the masking tape on the top and the bottom of that to mask off the area. When I'm adding the ink, I'm adding it deeper under where that photo is going to be, and then I'm blending it out to the side and fading it off. Once I'm happy with the color I put down, I'm going to repeat. So I pop my little bit there that's the guide for my size and go in with the next color. So I have these all kind of lined up there with the colors, and it's kind of rinse and repeat after a while until I've got the whole bit with that beautiful rainbow. Now, my daughter did think that I'd done a gay pride rainbow, not a apple rainbow. And she's like, well, you've got the rainbow on there, Mum, and whatever. And I'm like, it's the Apple logo, sweetie. So I don't know whether she's disappointed with that. And she's like, Apple doesn't, logo is not like that. I said, yeah, it used to be back in my day when I was young. It used to be the Apple logo. So here it is with those two done, the one down the bottom and then the one on the left. I'm looking at that right one and I'm thinking, if I try to put that there, it's all going to be squished into the center, and I didn't quite want that. So I go ahead and I leave that one blank. Now, at this stage, I don't have a plan for that. And it took a little while of sitting at my bench going, what am I going to do over on that other side? And I work on that for, I turn the camera off and sit there just staring at it for quite a while. I'm mounting these up on some foam to get a little bit of dimension, because at this stage the layout is looking a little bit flat and one-dimensional and it needs something else. So here I'm bringing in a little bit of dimension, and as I said, working on how I'm going to fill up the spaces around this. Just a quick tidy up there. And I do have to erase a lot of little marks, because I did leave a lot of little marks where I was marking out where I wanted bits and pieces. So once I'd had a bit of a think about what I was going to do on this other side, before I did that, yep, I'm going to draw a border around here, because I do know that I'm going to need a hand-drawn border or a border of some time. Now, I could have cut out some black cardstock, but I really do like hand-drawn borders. And I think they give a feeling of a little bit more than having, laid up cardstock. I can't explain it to me, but I do like a border. And I do it on multiple pages all the time. I'm going to bring in two card sets, and one of them is C1916, and it's something to smile about. And I'm also using the Storybook card making set, which is C1968. And you can see I took that apple off on the right, but I'm going to use all these little sentiments from this setting. I can't talk. And I'm going to use those to put down the side of that apple, but I'm going to use the inks in the rainbow form. So I started off with the green arrow. I'm coming in with yellow, and it's going to say something along the lines of, I've just grabbed the layout from in front of me, good stuff. And then the orange, I'm stamping dream. Now, I will have some close-ups of these in still photos at the end of the video, so feel free to go check those out. Feeling love, something to smile about, and all kinds of amazing in the blue. I do a little bit of a bit where I accidentally overstamp. So this something to smile about is one long sentiment, but I stamp the something and then I go back in and stamp the to smile about underneath. So it's got two lines instead of all in one, because it would not have fitted. And so I was kind of just grabbing what I had there and fitting it into that space. I do like the added texture of having some writing on there and some bits. Sorry about my big boof head right there. And I like that that did add another element to the layout. Just popping that photo back on in its spot, and I have to just wiggle it and make sure that I'm not covering up too much of that stamping. Then I'm looking, and down the bottom there I'm going to add some journaling over where I have done the rainbow down the bottom, but I start off with using Hope It's a Magical, and then from another sentiment from that set, I think it had Happy Birthday My, but I'm only using the birthday in the middle. So you'll see me stamp the Hope It's a Magical, and I've cut off the day, and then you'll see me put down two notes, two pieces of the like sticky note, and I'm making sure that I've only got the day that's going to be stamped in between there. So that's how I adapt sometimes my stamp sets. You can cut them apart and put them back together if you want, but I do like to just adapt them with a sticky note or a little bit of masking, and it works quite well. Once I've got that stamped there, I am going to pop in the journaling, which is all about her surprise at getting an iPad. And I think that top photo, it just shows how excited and happy she was. We got to set it up at the Apple store. And for that, I'm using the brush strokes. Now, the brush strokes, I did check, they are still available in the store. This is a great little set. It has some splatters in it, some little brush strokes. Now, if you don't like masking like I did, this brush stroke set has a really thin brush line, and that would work just as well on this layout. And it wasn't until I got to this point that I went, oh, I could have used that brush stroke stamp to do here. But what I'm doing with the little splatters is the colors that correspond, I'm just stamping little splatters over those colors. And I'm also doing them so that the green sort of blends over the yellow and the yellow blends over the green and things like that. So we get a little bit of a blend through that rainbow color rather than a very tight, that's green, that's yellow, that's orange. I'm also looking at the space in between the apples there, and I'm thinking that I will add a few splatters there too. I probably went a little bit overboard. I do that sometimes, and it's not as nice as if I had done it before I'd put the photos down. I probably should have taken the photos up, done these splattering, and it would have looked a lot more organic and general rather than looking like I've put it between the apples. I do love the end layout, but I know that that could have been something that I could improve. So you can see there, I think I've messed up that ink pad. I'm not a clean crafter, guys. You can see my bench. It looks like that all the time. Crazy, crazy. I can start off with an absolute tidy bench and it will end up that way. Here I'm just popping that journaling in, and right at the bottom, Love at First Sight. I think it's one of her prized possessions, along with her phone now. She likes to draw, and the whole idea was to get her an electronic drawing pad. She didn't think she was getting an iPad though, so that was a bit of a surprise for her on the day. Here I'm just bringing in a couple of acrylic shapes. This is just to add, again, a little bit of dimension around, so I pop those on with the mini glue dotty thingies, and I'm sure that's what they're called in the catalogue, mini dotty thingies, and placing them down. Now, as I said at the start of the video, I love the fact that I've used just inks and stamps, and this is what I can create. So I hope this inspires you guys to go out and create something just with inks and stamps and create something that is very unique to you. If you've liked this video, please like, subscribe, hit all those buttons, all those things. Leave me a comment, and I will try to keep them coming. I know they've been sparse of late, but I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. I'll leave you with these still photos, and then I will see you on the next one. Have a great day, guys. Bye.